See, my parents would have been are the opposite. They don't go to those extremes, but then they just wouldn't like Monty Python.
Yeah.
They're like, that wasn't for me.
So yeah, childhoods are weird.
I heard myself
Some
speak.
weirder than others.
True.
Weirder than others.
All right. So, all right, back on topic. Miep.
Yes.
What is Miep's name? Well, we know Miep's name, but go ahead and tell me anyways. Miep's
Meep is
name.
meep. That is all.
Miep's name and
Meep,
age.
meep.
So Meep is Meep.
Yep.
And Meep is a gnome that is around 200 years old, I believe. Again, I don't have her original character sheet in front of me. I believe it was 200. And that is about young adult age for gnomes.
Yeah. Okay. And then, what is your class and gender?
Meep is Meep.
Yep.
And Meep is a ranger.
Yep. Cool. Ranger. And then give us some appearance.
What do you mean?
What do you look like? What are you wearing?
Oh, so Meep has like a half cloak with a hood that Meep wears. Meep has tan skin with freckles and then white hair. And since Meep is dead, Meep has just solid white eyes.
Yep. And puffy pants, I remember.
And yes, puffy pants, and
puffy
her
pants.
shoes squeak.
Yes. Cool. And then so you're sort of a little bit of a rotting corpse at this point, right? Because you've died.
Right.
So how advanced is the sort of the decay of your body?
I would say it's getting there. You know, like in some places, the skin might be showing some bone at this point.
Yeah. Cool. All right, and what kind of weapon is Meep using? Or weapons?
Meep uses a bow and arrow, and also a allied pet.
Yep. All right, and do you have a dagger of any kind, or a short sword?
Yeah, short sword.
Short sword. And then what kind of pet did Meep find once Meep entered the underworld?
To get this, Meep befriended a squirrel that was a demonic squirrel that is like on fire, so like the tail is on fire.
Okay, fire squirrel.
And named it Gnats.
Okay, cool.
Which is just stand backward.
Hold on, fire squirrel. Cool. Meep has got away with words for sure.
Right.
All right. So, what was it like? Meep died in the arms of Meep's ex-lover in the middle of a battle while raiding a temple. So Meep arrived in the underworld. What was that like?
It was just like a cold feeling of nothingness, I guess. So like when you died, you could feel like the heat leaving your body, and the underworld itself is cold, so it's an icy feeling, I guess.
Nice. All right, cool. And what is Meep's alignment at this point?
I would say true neutral, just because Miep doesn't have a sense of direction right now, since everything happened before.
Now, let's say at this point, so we have to ignore the campaign we just did. So how does Miep feel about Faye? Because Miep's been hating Faye for a lot of Miep's life, and recently learned new information about Miep's ex-lover, who was Faye, that might have changed Miep's mind or softened Miep in some way. So I mean, explain Miep's state of mind regarding
so
Faye and things like that.
I believe that, you know, Miep obviously forgave him. That's why Miep moved on, but Miep is at a crossroads, I guess, having to decide, and I believe at the end is when she'll decide.
Okay, cool.
Exactly what she believes.
What Miep believes. All right, cool. And what goals does Miep possess at the moment? I mean, in this undead world.
To get Stan back.
Fine. Cool. And obviously via
Nope.
this via.
Nope. Just get Stan.
Well,
That's it.
well, this quest is sort of to get a renewed body, so you don't waste away into nothingness. So
That's just along the way of getting Stan.
right, but you can't find Stan if you decay to nothingness.
Right.
Yeah. Well, how did Meep find and tame gnats?
So she lured Nat in with some underworld treats and just captured him, and then Miep trained him into being a pet, but he's still kind of chaotic, so.
What kind of
Underworld treats.
Yeah, underworld treats. I'm curious about this now.
So
What are underworld treats?
Just these charcoal nuggets, I guess, is what you'd feed a fire squirrel.
Okay, all right.
It's actually a bit of her character that, like, when she turned around, she didn't see fall off, and she's like, "Oh, look at this! I'll give this to him."
Right. Just a piece of charcoal. Here,
Yeah.
eat my decaying flesh.
All right, cool. All right. Is there anything else you want to tell me about Meep at this moment?
Miep is Miep, and that is all Miep is.
Yep, nice. All right, cool. And Meep does not have Meep's hat currently, so
Miep does not have a hat.
no hat for Meep. The Meep is still the hat is still in the world of the living.
There's a draft.
Oh well, actually, because the other party was propelled 200 years in the future, the hat doesn't even exist in this time period. So
There's a draft.
yeah. All right, cool. All right, Isaac, do you want to go next, or you want to sit there for you?
Absolutely.
Sweet, cool.
Why not?
All right, so give me to start with your character's name and age.
My character is Ignis Mutt. He is a 18-year-old boy.
Can you put that in chat as well, so we can have spelling?
Yes. There you go.
Cool. And then, what is your class and race?
He's a human lad, with being the immolator.
Okay. And then, are you dead? Are you here by way of being deceased?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, we'll come back to that in a minute. But go ahead and give me a physical appearance. What you look like in clothes and things like that.
He has short brown hair, blue eyes, pale skin, fairly smooth. Not really something you'd think to see on someone who's dead.
Okay.
And the clothes that he wears are that of, like, a noble household.
Okay. Noble clothing. All right, cool. And well, was he a noble?
He was.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to that too. No. All right, cool. Now, what weapon is Ignis using?
Ignis has no weapon, for
No
he can
weapons.
control flames.
Okay. No weapon. Okay. Now, you have Burning Brand, which allows you to conjure weapons, but there's a roll for that, so
Yep.
it can fail. All right.
Yep.
Just so you're aware. So you can have a weapon if you want, but no weapon. All right. So now, let's come back to the. Well, let's start off with how you died. So how did Ignis die?
Okay, and I'm going off this just because of when I was reading the alignment thing, I had to make a sacrifice of some kind
Yeah.
to the fire.
Yeah.
And the way that happened is that Ignis he found this old book at his mansion on, like, immolators.
Yeah.
And he thought he had a little bit of a, like, arsonist in his heart all along. He thought that'd be really cool. But he's a good lad. And he kind of accidentally skipped the part about sacrificing someone, and his house burnt down.
Oh.
He doesn't know if he accidentally killed anyone else, but he got himself in the end, because he was like, well, it says I have to sacrifice someone. I'm assuming, the person doing it doesn't have to die, so it should be me, right?
Yeah.
It'll work out, I'm sure. And he accidentally burned his house down in
So-
the process of burning himself.
You hate to see it.
So he became an immolator by sacrificing himself. So
Because
so-
he didn't read the rules right.
Yeah, sure. That happens. Now, how long has Ignis been in the underworld then?
Oh, he's fresh.
Okay, so like Like days, months?
Uh, Probably just a couple days, enough to like figure out that like, hey,
Okay.
I did it. I have fire now.
Cool. So now you have a dead and decaying body, but it's not terribly decayed yet because you're so
Hmm.
fresh. Okay, cool. Um, now, tell me about being a noble. Like, what were Ignis's parents like? What was the world that he lived in? Inform me.
It was in Ignis's mind. It was a boring world. His parents were always busy doing noble things. Um, he was always kind of shunned because he was a bit too rowdy to really fit the noble lifestyle.
Hmm.
So being the only child, it really disappointed his parents, and
Oh,
that's why he had a bit of like a chaotic, rebellious streak.
yeah.
And one of the reasons why he when he found that emulator book, he dove into it head first.
Okay, cool. Um, so how many people were in the house when Ignis set it
Um,
ablaze?
he doesn't know. It was sometime in the afternoon.
Okay. With
If he
his
had to guess, mom and dad were probably there. Maybe a couple of the butlers or maids.
yeah, so servants of some sort.
Yeah.
Did Ignis have a favorite servant?
Um. Sure. He liked Joffrey. Joffrey put up.
Sorry.
Joffrey put up with him the best.
Okay, Joffrey. Um, okay, so what was Joffrey to Ignis?
He was the one that would just listen, if nothing
Okay,
else.
well, was he a butler or was he like a?
He was a butler.
Okay, butler. Cool. Um, okay. And did Ignis have any like friends or pets or anything like that?
Oh no,
Nope.
he's not responsible enough to have a pet, and his mom and dad did not want to show him to the world. He
Yeah.
was not noble enough.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And was he betrothed to anyone?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, cool. All right. So, all right. What was there any religion for Ignis?
His mom and dad kept going on about something or other, but he didn't really pay attention.
Okay, cool. All
That
right.
didn't seem very entertaining to him.
Yeah. And does he have an alignment?
Yes, I'm gonna go with neutral
Yep.
because he burnt his house down, but on the grounds that he didn't mean to.
Sure. Um, what was Ignis's goals in the living world?
To have adventure. It's so boring being the son of a noble who doesn't love you.
Yeah.
Wow. Whew.
I mean, that love is multifaceted, right? So that was his feeling, though. He felt unloved.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. So no religion really. Parents have religion. Let's see. So, so you've just recently become an immolator. What was you died and you arrived in the underworld. Go ahead and describe that to me real quick.
So Ignis kind of woke up, and the last thing that he remembered was just everything kind of blacking out. Smoke everywhere,
Mhm.
Timbers falling as the house burned down. And when he woke up, he just kind of looked around, and he thought, "I didn't know fire could make things dead."
Oh no.
That's the landscape, man. That's the gardeners really need to get on that. That's just unprofessional.
Yeah.
He picked himself up, dusted himself off, started walking around a bit, and then it dawned to him that this isn't Kansas anymore.
Hmm.
And he didn't really think about it. So he doesn't really think that he's dead.
Oh,
he
so
just thinks that the ceremony worked and is like, cool.
Cool. All right.
I have powers, but I don't know where I am.
Cool. So, did Jeffrey live in fantasy medieval Kansas? Is that a thing?
No, it was just a Wizard of Oz reference.
I know, but so I've had people who have had characters from like fantasy
Kansas.
medieval like Louisiana, right? So
Sure.
Yeah. Just trying to get a depiction of like where. So, is there anything else you want to tell me about Ignis at this time?
No, he's just a good boy who's trying to have fun.
All right,
and
cool,
then this happened.
Cool. All right, awesome. All right, then I'm going to move on to Amanda. I'm going to move on to your character.
All right.
So give me name and age first.
All right. Danica Kismet, and she is 24.
All right, cool. And then you mean class, race, and gender.
All right. Class, wizard. Race, human. And gender is female.
Cool. And then give me some physical appearance.
Average height and build, teal eyes, curly silver hair, young for a human wizard, blue and silver robes, ghostly fair, and staff of oak, moonstone, and silver.
Okay. Oak. That's cool. How did you come to this world? Did you die and arrive here, or
I'm dead, but I'm newly dead.
oh, also newly dead? So how newly?
Very, very newly.
Okay.
But I've noticed the startings of decomposition, but I've been using magic to hold myself together. I know that's temporary, and eventually it will not work.
Okay, cool. And how did you die?
Well, I could say misadventure. I was killed in training.
Oh, in training. Okay, like wizard training.
Yes.
Okay. So describe that event for me, please, if you could.
I was working with my mentor, and it was my own. It was by my own hands. I thought I could handle more than I could, and I ended up doing something a little out of my control, hurting myself, and it didn't end well for me.
Cool. So did you die on the spot, or was it like a process?
I died on the spot. It was it was pretty bad.
Okay. And what was your mentor's name?
That's a good question. Since we're going with the wizard idea, Arthur.
Arthur. Okay. All right. And was Arthur like an older wizard, or?
Not super older.
Okay.
Probably late 30s.
Okay. Now, were you a part of some sort of like magic schooling, or was it like a private tutor sort of thing?
It was a private tutor.
Okay.
I was taken in because I had no memory of basically where I came from. I was wandering in the woods.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. And so magical like wizarding power. Is this something that's latent in everyone and can be drawn out, or are only some people born with magical power?
I think it was discovered. Basically, the mentor saw me wandering around and could feel like an energy of magic about me.
Cool. There's an anime about this. It's called the Eighth Sun. It's new.
Oh, okay.
No,
That's interesting because when I was looking up the magical names,
yeah.
Danica is I believe Slavic for morning star.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Hell yeah.
So now your staff that you've got, this oak and moon and silver staff, is that something that you carried with you into the afterlife, or did you find it here in the underworld?
I carried it with me from the world above. I basically crafted it myself during my training.
Okay, so something you made in your training with Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Do you have a religion of any kind? Is there a religion for wizards, or is it just nature? What's going on there?
Nature's more of a druid thing.
Okay. That's screw druids, right? It's tree people.
Well, I mean, I was before, but I mean that's a different universe. But really, I think that there is a higher power, but the wizards really don't speak of it. It's just kind of who they draw from.
Okay. All right. And what's your alignment?
Per usual, neutral, chaotic.
Okay.
And I do what I want, class.
Yeah. So, with no memories of your life before meeting Arthur, I guess you don't know who your parents are or anything like that.
No.
Cool. All right. What were Danica's goals in life, and then now having been dead, what are her goals now?
She wanted to figure out who she was, maybe not necessarily her past, but like who she was as a wizard, discover her powers. Really, she didn't really know a lot because her only real bond in that particular life was with Arthur.
Okay.
And her goal now is to make her body whole. Mm-hmm. And do what she can, like maybe even escape from the underworld if that's possible.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. And
she wants to make it back.
Let's see. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me at this point about Danica?
No. Have fun with it.
All right, cool. All right, so then we're gonna move on to Staniel. You ready, Staniel?
Hello.
I know you've been like ready all day, so.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, cool. Let me get your character's name and age.
My name is Jebediah Crokin, and I am coming on 2,000 years old now.
Okay. Also, if everyone can just take a moment and type your characters' names in chat, will be useful for everyone. All right. So, Jeb.
Yes,
um,
sir.
how? And you said 2,000 years old?
Yes, sir.
That's old.
Holy crap.
Yep. So, give me your class, race, and gender.
I am a fighter. I am a demon. And, what was the third question?
Gender.
Sorry. Gender. Male.
Okay. All right. And then let's get some physical appearance and clothing.
Well, I have bright orange skin.
Okay.
I'm wearing nothing but a pair of overalls and a straw hat.
Nice.
Yes. I will say that the overalls are made of chainmail.
Okay. All right.
It's my armor. Yeah. I stand probably about 6'5", 6'6". I'm fairly large, fairly well built from working on a hell farm for about 2,000 years.
Aren't all farms hell farms? No.
Fair enough.
So, all right. So, do you have any like horns, pointed ears, any of that kind of stuff, or?
I have 2 small horns.
Yeah.
It's nothing too much to brag about. My mama told me back when I was young not to brag about what you got.
Yeah. Okay. So now, how long do demons live? Forever, or I mean, what's the lifespan of a demon?
Shoo, as far as I'm aware, I ain't seen one die except by the hands of another person.
Okay. All right. Cool. Good deal. And what weapon are you using?
I am using my fists.
All right. Fists.
Of course.
Yeah. Why not? And what's two questions? I guess a two-part question. What is demon culture like at large, and then what is demon culture like for you?
Well, I don't know too much rightly about the city folk demons.
Okay.
I assume that they drive their fancy car chariots. Don't laugh at me, Adam. Spend their time hanging about lollygagging. Personally, in my life, I tend to my farm every day, take care of the hell cows. It's a good life. Simple.
This is
Hell
starting.
cows.
This is starting to bleed over into our Minecraft game.
It's
Hey, has somebody been in the Nether lately?
It ain't much, but it's an honest living.
It is indeed, sir.
Nerds in the South, right?
It's a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
Something I may have glossed over. Since my fists are my signature weapon, I get 2 enhancements to them. One is they are much larger than should be legally allowed for my body.
Sure.
Sock 'em boppers.
You're already kind of
Yes.
large at 6'5", so.
And they also glow in the presence of hellhounds.
Okay, cool. So you have like Hellboy fists, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna
except 2, not 1.
Yeah.
Makes
Well,
it
yeah.
hard to hold the hoe.
Double. Your wife or the material. Sorry.
No comment.
Anyways, all right, cool. So now, do you live on the farm alone? Do you live with your parents, or like, what's the farming situation here?
I do have a wife there, and it
Okay.
goes a little bit into the bonds, but Danica also lives at the farm. She's in
Oh,
the guest house.
yeah. All couple of days she's lived there. Cool.
Yes.
All right. So now, the your wife, is your wife also a demon?
No, she is an ogre.
Okay, so an undead ogre.
Yes.
Okay. Now, does she have the sort of decaying body, or has she found a way to renew her body?
Oh, no. If you've decided to marry through the demon customs of our marriage, your body stops aging at that point in time.
Okay, all right. So you sort of get like you
Free pass.
yeah
It just halts.
yeah, cool. So, and are there any children?
No, the demon birthing process is quite not good.
All right. And now, how long have you been married for?
Oh, it's been about 600 years.
Okay, okay. All right, cool. And what do you farm?
Well, I farm a little bit of everything. You know, we got flame seeds that grow our flame corn. We got chill corn, which is a different off-brand variety.
Yeah,
We also make Scorch Bucks as iced coffee beans.
nice.
Uh, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Do you grow flaming hot Cheetos?
Oh,
Uh,
my.
no, that's
I'm
actually what I
leaving.
use to feed the hell cows with. How else are we supposed to get the milk?
Hockeys.
Yeah, yeah. Gotta get that fire milk. Um, all right. Is there a religion for demons? Is that a thing?
Probably, but I don't subscribe to no accounts.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you believe in the land, right? So there we are.
Yes, sir.
What is your alignment?
It is pure neutral.
Okay, cool.
As long as my farm's happy, I'm happy.
Now, do you have parents? Is that a thing?
Probably. As
All right.
far as I'm aware, they explode upon conception.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, that's
I do, however, have about 200 brothers and sisters somewhere abouts.
cool. All right, cool. Oof, that's rough. Don't have kids in the underworld. Ouch.
Don't have kids if you're a demon.
Yeah, yeah. So now all these thousands of brothers and sisters, do you know any of them?
Maybe one or two. Not rightly by name, but they come around the farm sometimes.
Okay, okay, okay. Now do you have do you sell your farm goods to other people, or is it strictly for your family?
Oh, I do, in fact, sell farm goods. I have to sell it not only to make a living, but to make sure I keep the crops growing.
Yeah. Okay. And so is there like a market or something you go to sell these, or is there a demon farmers market? Is that a thing?
There's a gentleman that comes around. He'll pick up the goods and sell them at the market for me. I
Okay.
don't go too much into the city myself.
Cool.
Too much work to be done.
So it sounds like demons have sort of a thriving metropolis. They have cities, they have rural areas. Like it's pretty advanced culture. Is there a form of demon government?
There is. It is democratically elected by death by combat.
Okay, yeah, that sounds totally not democratic, but I mean, um, is it democratic by way of like they're electing who's going to battle?
Yes.
Okay, all right, well that makes sense. Um, so now is that something that Jeb is involved in? Does he care about elections and things like that, or is it just like because he's out on the farm, it's something that's not even really a consideration?
I was elected once, but
Oh,
unfortunately, since I do own the largest farm, I couldn't make it.
okay, okay. So Jeb Crokin, you're. Do you have a brother who was president once? No, kidding. Uh, all right, so yeah, so you were elected, but you couldn't fulfill those duties. Who fulfilled those duties in your place? Is there a person that you know that did that, or?
Too much farming to do. They came and told me, but I was like, listen, I gotta get, oh shoot, I done forgot what the name of it was. Scorch Bucks, they're coffee beans.
Yeah, yeah, okay, cool. Scorch bucks. So what is Jeb's goal in life, death, whatever you want to call this existence?
Pain.
Keep the farm going till I can pass it on to my explosive children.
Cool. All right. Cool. Farming. So now, one thing I do have to ask: what is Jeb's interest in the sort of the mystical mountain?
Well, as far as I'm aware, my hoe just recently broke. I need to get myself a new one. And I'd prefer not to have to go out again, so I'm hoping to get a nice mystical one out of it.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Awesome. And is there any information you'd like to impart to me about Jeb at this time?
Mm, Jeb's secretly gay.
Oh, okay. Cool. So is his wife a beard?
His wife is very much a beard.
Okay. Cool. Um,
Why there's no explosive children?
right. 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 So now I
It's
do
been
have
2,000 years.
right. I well 600 years since you've been married though. So,
Fair enough.
yeah. Is there a love interest for Jeb that's a secret or unrequited?
Well, he's currently watching out in the upper world, and there's this nice little minotaur named Jeff. Seems quite attractive.
Yes.
Hoping he comes down soon.
Wait. Wait.
Nice crossover.
Yeah, it is the same world technically. Yeah, yeah. I'm so we're gonna segue just for half a second because I do have a question for Tate. So we're doing this session, and it's a 2-week session. After this, we're gonna do another 2-week session where we're doing the jailbreak for Matt's character. After that, I want to do a session where we follow the characters who are in the on the island. So like your character's all warped out, but that island is basically imploding because the gods have left. You know, they've been destroyed, and so like basically all hell was going to break loose on the island. So I want to follow some of the characters there. Would you have any interest in playing the part of Kai on the island after the fall?
Yeah.
Cool, because
He's just standing at the gate like, what happened?
yeah. Well, he's got those 2 zombies too that are going to lose control
Yeah.
once Dylan's character leaves. Daniel has already agreed to play Jeff the Minotaur. So,
Oh.
so cool. So that's just some future setup for a couple of campaigns from now. But back to what's going on here. So is that it? Is that it for Jeb for the moment? Then
Yes, that's all I basically have on him.
cool. All right. So now, now that you've heard everybody's sort of spiel, it takes just a few minutes and fill out the bonds section of your character sheet. Like I said, you can use the predefined bonds that are there, or you can write your own, or you can use a mix of the two. So that's up to you. So yeah, just take a couple minutes and do that if everyone would. Doo-doo-doo. Do a little background music while this is happening. Has everyone had a moment to fill out bonds? So are we still waiting on anyone? Yeah. All right,
I'm
cool.
pretty much good.
All right. So, I'm going to go down the line as before. We're just going to start with Miep. Miep, tell me about some bonds.
Okay, so for both the humans, Miep was just simply in the area when both of them arrived in the underworld, and
Okay.
so Miep took on the role of teaching them
Okay.
of how to survive or what to do in the underworld.
Okay.
Miep, however, had to leave Danica is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Had to leave her with Jeb, but Miep does not trust demons, so she comes back every once in a while to check in
Okay.
and make sure everything is okay.
Okay.
So
Cool.
there's a distrust with him, but
Okay. So, all right. So both humans they arrived simultaneously then.
I wouldn't say simultaneously.
Okay.
Like maybe a few moments apart. Like, she's
Okay.
like, oh, child, another child.
Nice. Cool. Now, okay. So for I'm going to ask individually both of you. So Danica, you arrived in this world, and there was this sort of undead gnome there. Were you taken aback by that, or was it? Did what was that like?
I've seen weirder.
Yeah.
I mean, I basically literally showed up in the underworld. I think the more shocking thing was, wow, I thought I would be in a nicer place. I thought I did good.
Cool. All right. But were you appreciative of the help that Miep gave you?
It was nice because it was kind of jarring to show up. There was a lot going on above ground, and then all of a sudden I'm in the underworld, and that's not any better.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. And then for Ignis, same question. You arrived in this world. There's this sort of undead gnome near where you come in, who sort of agreed to show you the way. Were you pretty trusting, or how did that go?
Oh man! As soon as he saw her, he immediately ignored her and went to the squirrel. The squirrel's on fire. This is amazing.
Leave Nats alone.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah. I mean, your obsession with fire.
And then he eventually, Meep got his attention. He was appreciative.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
So let me ask you a question. Did you receive any training from the fire squirrel?
Me?
Yeah.
No, he bit me.
Oh, okay. All right.
His heart will be mine one
He's
day.
not
though.
tamed.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So there is a little bit of tension between you and the squirrel. Then you want to pet it, but it doesn't want to be petted, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, the squirrel likes to be petted. It just doesn't like.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It just doesn't like being petted by children. It's fine.
Cool. So Meep, you can speak to Nats, the fire squirrel,
Right.
via your bond as a ranger. What does Nats think about Jeb? Not Jeb, but I mean Isaac, Ignis.
Ignis.
So many words.
So Nat's exact words were that he knows that he wants to control fire, and he just doesn't like the thought of being controlled by a human.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So what was your first impression of these two characters, Meep, when they arrived?
Ignis was very airheaded, I guess, and very rude for ignoring her. She figured it was a height difference kind of thing, like he was just
Sure.
looking above Meep's head.
If it's a height difference, why would I pay attention to the squirrel?
Squirrels, I don't know.
Because it's on fire,
Right.
Shiny.
Yeah, shiny thing. But Meep actually took a liking to Danica and was sad to see her go.
Okay, cool. In the I don't know, couple of days that it was.
Yeah, right.
Right.
You could have helped me tame this other one.
Cool. All right. So, are there any more bonds then?
For me?
Yeah.
No, that's
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Isaac, tell me about Ignis's bonds.
All right. With Danica, he sees that she's a wizard, and Ignis he sees that she put a lot of work into what she does,
Mhm.
and Ignis has no understanding whatsoever how his works.
Yeah.
And he wants to just be like, so I don't know what I'm doing, but it works, and you worked really hard, and yours works. Huh?
Yeah. Well, so they're very different branches of magic, right? Because wizardry is more of a schooling, and immolation is something that's sort of instilled into you by ritual. So,
Yeah.
they are very foreign types of magic to each other. So what's your next bond?
And then there's the one with Meep, and one way or another, I will win over Nat's heart.
You will
Not because I want to control him. I just think a flaming squirrel is cool.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So how did you deal with the? So I guess the initial rejection.
It hurt, but Ignis knows, just like with how it became, how to become a immolator. If he wants it, he's gonna have to work for it.
Yeah.
Maybe even have to sacrifice a little bit of
Sure.
himself. He'll take
Nats.
the bites and scratches until then.
Yeah.
Nats refuses to be manhandled. You will not hold him.
Okay. Cool. And then do you have another bond?
Yeah, for Jebediah, all that's written down is a bunch of question marks and demon cow milk.
Okay. Well, so how did you meet Jebediah the first time?
I guess when Miep was dropping off Danica.
Okay. Cool. So
First thing I said was, "My God, those are some big hands."
yeah, yeah. That's
He kind of like smacks him on the head like a mother. Like, shut up!
that's
Don't talk bad about him.
that's what she said. I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
not bad.
Big hands, you know.
My hands aren't that big. That's cool.
So
Don't you talk bad about it.
yeah. So now sort of as a noble, I assume that even farming lifestyle in the living world was sort of something that's foreign to you.
Yes.
So seeing it in the demon world, did you have any revelations, realizations, or curiosities about that?
Just the fact that it's something that he's never done, and Ignis, like I said, he's a rebellious child, so he never acted like a noble anyway. So he's like, dude, I'm ready to get my hands dirty. I'm ready to let's have some fun, guys. Let's do something.
Yeah. And then there's that the fire milk, right? So
Yeah.
I have
How
a
does
question.
that work?
I have a question.
yeah.
Is the milk spicy?
It tastes exactly like flaming hot Cheetos.
Sounds like a
all
bad
I
episode
feed
of Good
them.
Mythical Morning, but whatever.
Yeah. Nice. All right, cool. And now, do you have any further bonds,
Nope.
Ignis? All right, cool. All right. Then let's go to Danica. Danica, tell me about some bonds.
All right, Meep will play an important role in the events to come. I have foreseen it.
Oh, okay. So is this like a vision you received, or?
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right. Now, have you regaled that information to Meep, or is that something you keep to yourself?
I keep it to myself because it could change the outcome.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So, then what are your next bonds then?
Jebediah is keeping an important secret from me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, Jebediah, I have to ask. This secret you're keeping, and we can take this to the player level if you want to, not necessarily the character level. Is it the secret of being gay, or is there a different secret?
There's a second kind of Cheeto cow. Habanero.
I'm withholding the secret family recipe. I'm the only one who has cows that make flaming hot Cheeto milk.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a secret that can stay secret, but yeah.
I was gonna
Ignis
say.
just thinks this
It's
is
widely
adorable.
popular. There's no other reason I would be able to sell it.
I was gonna say it's the real way he actually obtains the cow milk.
Oh God,
It's from the bulls, actually.
that's why it's spicy.
There's a special milking process.
Just watch
sure
it,
there
it's
is.
Like, fascinating.
This is not child friendly, but it never is. No, honestly, God, guys. So my daughter always asks, "Oh, can I listen to one of your games?" And I'm like, "No, honey, I'm sorry, you can't."
All right, Mike. You need to set up a very child-friendly session. We'll do one
Yeah,
just for your daughter.
if you
I-
tell us it's safe, we'll be good.
Yeah, for like 5 minutes.
No, I would seriously be good if
I would
if
be
I knew
good
that I
too.
had to be.
Yeah. So yeah.
Wild card.
Yeah.
We can do the one with Kai. That can be a kid-friendly one.
No,
Just for-
no, because I need some fun with Jeff the Gay Minotaur, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun with Jeff the Game Miller.
I need something involving his pulsing member, all right?
Whoa! I didn't realize we were going into fanfic territory.
Listen,
You've come to the right
listen,
place.
we've now played Dungeon World for about 70 some odd hours, and there's been like basically no seduction. All right, I'm a little disappointed to be
Wait.
honest.
I
Wasn't
tried to seduce the god in the last game, but you said I couldn't.
Yeah, it's a god.
I'm trying to
They were angry.
God to a non-believer.
Yeah.
I
All right.
also
So
think
It's just like, I'm down to fuck. Fine.
Well,
Whoa.
you know, when we did the model world one, there was basically that was my moves.
And for that matter, how is Magnum not seduction?
Also, didn't I smack that clown on the ass in the circus one?
you did, but you didn't seduce him necessarily.
I tell you what, we'll add an element to this. My mentor was also a love interest.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. So Arthur.
There we
Arthur-
go.
Yeah. he's a pedophile. That's fine.
I'm 20 something.
Okay. Sure.
Still a child.
That's what's on your ID. I get it. Anyways, we were doing something. Bonds, right?
Yeah.
So Jeb has a secret. It's about the flaming milk. Do you have any more bonds than Danica?
Ignis is woefully misinformed about the world, or I guess the underworld for this case. I will teach them all that I can.
You
Okay.
have no idea how well that fits my character.
Actually, it's so weird because I wrote it all down before this happened, and then it worked. So,
We
Yeah.
are
yay!
trying to pet flame squirrels.
Serendipitous, right?
Literally all his bonds were question marks, so let's fill in some of those questions.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So does Ignis feel that he's woefully misinformed about the world, or is he completely ignorant to the fact?
He sees it more as it's just him finally getting to learn about it.
Discovery, I guess.
Yeah, discovering.
Okay.
He doesn't feel like, oh, I know nothing. He sees it as more as like, oh boy, I'm learning so much.
Oh boy.
Is he Steven Universe?
Oh god.
No,
Sounds like Pinocchio to me.
Listen,
boy.
Steven, I hate the character. Of
I know
Steven.
you did. I know you did.
I hate him so much. He's annoying. Anyways, I don't want to tangent on that.
It's fine.
So
Don't worry, I'm useful. Promise.
yeah, Steve. Well, I have not watched all of Steven Universe, but from all I watched, he was not useful, and he was terribly spoiled. Anyways, do you have any more
What
bonds?
happens if you have 3 moms?
That's true.
No, I think that about does it because I even added in that one about Arthur, and he's not even a playable character. So there we
Yeah,
go.
cool. Yeah. All right. So then let's move on to Jeb. What are Jeb's bonds?
All right, I'm gonna preface this with the fact that the first 3 are actual bonds, and the last 2 are your fault. So,
Wow. Okay.
so my first bond is Miep's, and anytime she usually comes around to check on Danica, I end up selling her squirrel chow.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right.
Sense.
Hey, yo, you want to sell me some of that on the side though?
so
Not even friends.
so Miep, you get your squirrel chow from Jeb. Does Jeb have like the best squirrel chow, or is he like the only one that has squirrel chow?
He's currently the only place Miep knows how to get squirrel chow.
Okay, cool. All right, is it reasonably priced? Do you feel like?
Miep thinks that it's reasonably priced, but
Yeah.
Pieces of your soul.
Meep might grumble under Meep's breath about it, you know.
Yeah.
Say something racist as she's walking away.
Oh no! Oh no!
I hate demons and the Fae.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So,
And you're
Meep can't
smacking Ignis. How dare you, hypocrite?
Meep is a racist.
Ignis
So,
is being
Meep
good
can't
compared to
target
you.
the Fae now. So
Yeah.
Meep figures that she's got to find a new race to be mad at.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
And
No, you should have picked gnomes because you should be mad at yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, there are self-hating people out there, right? It's a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And listen, hey, I'm okay with like racism, not in like real life, obviously. but like in a fantasy setting, because it's real, right? Racism
Yeah.
is real.
Yeah.
It's something that
Yeah.
exists across the world.
Right.
And I've had a number of games where like I was like, oh, is that race discriminated against in any way? And everyone's like, no. Like everyone's like so afraid to like live in a fantasy world where there is racism. But like I think in any world where people are different, there's going to be some
Right.
amount of it.
most of
right?
the characters I create,
So-
though, are kind of tree huggers.
Yeah.
You know, murdery tree huggers, but tree huggers.
Yeah.
So my goal is that like, obviously, Meep grew out of the Fae thing, right?
Right.
My idea is that Meep is subconsciously targeting another race and doesn't realize it, but at the end of this campaign, Meep will be like, I'm doing it again, stop it.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah,
Meep's
so-
gonna grow.
Yes, and that's good. People should grow, right? That's
Sitcom
important.
endings.
So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I'm going to segue for just half a second, and because it's something I realized in the last campaign, I've unintentionally created a very like realistic world because you've got the sort of the dwarves and the minotaurs, which are two opposing like political factions, and then underneath all of their problems are the Fae who have been persecuted for so long at this point. And now they're no longer stamping out magic, so the Fae are no longer persecuted, but there are obviously ramifications, right? Because they've been forced into hiding and impoverished and stuff like that. So we have this world where they're as I said, the two government bodies fighting over basically power, and then you have the disenfranchised, Fae. And I'm like, I sat back the other day listening back to the last campaign. I was like, dear Lord, I've created the world we live in unintentionally, right? So yeah, it's just I mean, I guess human nature always disseminates.
What's the quote? Art mimics reality, or something like that.
Yeah, it's true. Well, and then I guess also you kind of end up in scenarios that you're familiar with because you're familiar with them. So, anyways, that's enough. That's enough real things.
Didn't mean to get too deep.
Right. So, Jeb,
Yeah.
throw me some more bonds.
All right. I am very curious as to how Danica's magic works and how it could potentially be useful to my farming life.
Okay, cool. So Danica, are you has Jeb approached you for magical advice or just inquiries?
He kind of in a very, very underworld backwoods way asked me about my fancy rock stick.
Yeah. Sure.
Now, what in tarnation makes that thing go?
If it was city folk electricity
Yeah.
that ran it.
Yeah. So what powers your magic? Is probably a fair question, or do you even know?
Well, once again, like I said, I learned a lot in a very, very short amount of time. It was more about, we didn't take a history 101 class,
Yeah.
It was some guy I met in the woods that I ended up like learning from and starting a relationship with.
Yeah, we've all been there.
I mean, we were out in the woods, the only person I knew,
Yeah, Stockholm. I get it.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It's just getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. It's fine.
Is he?
Honey, you're delusional.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
I exploded myself.
What was the payment for? No, we won't go there. Anyways. So Jeb, more bonds. Yeah.
Well, Ignis needs to be taught how to be a responsible man, so what better than farm work?
Okay, all right. So Ignis, has Jeb put you to work in the fields from time to time? Has that happened?
Yes.
Okay.
It may or may not be my fault that his hoe is broken.
Wait, which one? His wife or the...
A little bit of both.
Ignis is
12.
a
I
good
hope it's
boy.
cool. We're
Ignis
in the
is a
presence
good
of a
boy.
child.
Yeah. He's a good kid. He would never.
I'm just saying, the sort of the unfulfilled wife is needs a little attention.
Ignis would be a disappointment because he would be too delusional to actually understand what she's trying to do. He's that kind of character. It's like
Okay,
he's
well-
making passes on
You
it.
Also,
think I'm
an
innocent,
ogre.
even though it's the underworld.
It's
I feel bad. I want to
technically
protect him.
undead ogre. It would probably kill him.
So, let me ask this question, right? So this goes more to player level than character level. Is Jeb's wife sort of making flirting or making passes at
Oh my god.
at Ignis?
I'm sorry.
I
I
hope
brought this
not.
up.
Jeb's wife makes passes at anything with two legs.
Jeez.
Well, how many legs does Jeb have?
Shoot, now I have to have 3.
You show your tripod.
It was a political marriage.
Backwoods political marriage.
Yeah, it's my cousin.
Okay.
Yeehaw to yee-naw real quick.
Banjo music starts.
All right, cool. So yeah, let's yeah, what are your next bonds? We're gonna move
Okay,
on.
first and foremost, Ignis doesn't know this, but his butler Jeffrey is an ex-lover of mine.
Arthur or Joffrey, sorry,
Joffrey, yeah.
So hold on. But Joffrey's was in the world of the living, obviously.
Yeah, Jeb takes occasional forays when he has time.
So Jeb has visited the living world.
A few times, actually.
Okay.
Probably always saw Jeff.
So, all right, cool. So you and Joffrey have had a thing. Now, do you know that? So have you met Ignis before, and Ignis has not been aware of it?
Oh, yeah, it was a little bit after he was born. He was about 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah, ended up meeting him. It's like, it's a child, I guess. I'm
All right.
surprised the parents aren't exploded.
So, yeah. So, did you have a human form you took when you visited the upper world, or?
No. Joffrey has some kinks.
Oh, okay. So did Joffrey summon you then?
No. I was actually just strolling through the market town of his noble estate area, wherever it may have been, and ran across Joffrey. Thought he was mighty cute.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right.
It's always the quiet ones you gotta watch out for.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm so shook. This took a lot of turns.
Good for you, Joffrey. Get out there.
Yeah. Good for Joffrey. All right. Cool.
Sorry, but you may not be able to see Joffrey because of me.
Sorry
Yikes.
about that.
Or her nose.
Oh, it's all right. I moved on. It's been a while.
Okay.
So do you have more bonds then?
Yes, one more.
Okay.
Danica's mentor was also my ex-lover.
Oh
No.
my god.
Man gets around.
Jebediah gets around.
Oh man.
Got the legs.
Leave Arthur alone. Leave him out of this.
Yeah.
Every couple hundred years or so, Jeb takes a week off and goes diddling around the mortal world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm guessing you were in disguise.
Do you,
No,
do, do, you, do you tell your wife you're going out for cigarettes and milk?
I'm going out for non-flaming hot Cheeto milk.
Yeah. Regular everyday people milk. All right.
People
Cool.
milk, yes.
People milk.
Yeah.
What? Literally.
Okay. No. Hold on.
I'm not going to say what that's actually called, but whatever.
So it's been years ago now, right? But
I tell you the truth. I'm going out for people milk.
I'll fight you.
And this was happening in California, as things do. But there were people who were they were like these sort of like extreme vegans or whatever, and they were looking for basically a wet nurse, a woman who was lactating, because they wanted milk, but they didn't want milk from cows because I mean cows can't consent. I get it. But they still wanted milk, so they were looking for like human milk.
Okay. Well,
I
Yeah, right. It's just Anyways,
I mean, I'm curious to have it with cereal, I guess, but
I think that'd be a little too thick. Doesn't really work.
yeah. Listen, guys, people milk's not great. All right, I'm just gonna put that out there.
I'm shook. The conversations we bring up.
it took a turn, and my camera shook. There we go.
All right, cool. All right, so then my next question for all of you then is you've all decided to go to this castle on a mountain or what have you because it has the magical properties that it does. When was the decision made to do that?
When I broke Jebediah's hoe and he told me we were going.
Okay.
yeah, we need to take a trip.
So-
It's time to get a new hoe.
So is Jebediah the one who revealed to Miep and Danica that they could get restored bodies then from this place as well?
Y'all didn't know about that? Oh.
Just offhandedly, yeah, we're gonna go get a new hoe. I mean, I guess if you want to get resurrected, they do have a body switching station over there. It's nice.
They got a nice respawn point.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I was like, oh, this isn't good. Like something fell off, and I'm like,
Miep's eyeballs already
Cat.
hanging out. Like, help me.
I'd like to imagine for just some inexplicable reason, like, Ignis doesn't rot. He just has bits of skin and parts of his body start to turn to ash a little bit and then just flake off.
Yeah, okay.
He starts burning.
Yeah.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few things together. So if you guys want to take just 2 minutes, if you want to use the restroom or refill your drinks or snacks or whatever, you can do so. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes.
What is that?
More alcohol. I've
And
been
you're
drinking the
not.
entire time.
Yeah, it looks like Kraken.
It is in fact Kraken.
You're not.
What did I just have? I had Knob Creek right before this. Yeah, good times. Oh, what is it called?
I saw that picture of the pickles that you sent me. Did you buy it?
No. So we were in Gatlinburg, and we were at one of the distilleries because there's just so much free alcohol to sample while you're there. You can certainly get tipsy on just free samples.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of them was the moonshine place, and they had like just jars of the pickle stuff, and when I saw it, I was like, Tate.
Right.
Yeah. So the ones we bought some we bought the chocolate chip cookie dough one, and then we got like a maraschino cherry like filled one, and then we got what was it one we got? Oh, it was Java. It was basically like coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
I'm gonna warn y'all ahead of time. If you ever come across Midnight Moon, especially Rebel Raz flavored, it just tastes like straight up cleaner. Like,
Awesome.
yeah, it's 90 proof, so yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about alcohol.
Yeah. Alcohol.
Man, I
What?
partake in
No,
alcohol.
never. Not on my good Christian Roll 20 server.
Absolutely. Me neither. Although that was actually serious.
So Isaac, are you of legal drinking age?
I'm 22, so yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's not legal drinking age, you liar.
Is that so? Well, now, darn. If too bad that I drink so much alcohol, anyways.
Okay, I'll be right back.
So I don't drink a lot of alcohol, but I do make a lot of alcohol.
I've been meaning to buy more from you.
Yeah, and I don't sell it. It's not legal.
Oh,
for me to
fair
sell
enough.
It. I can't sell it to you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I can give you some.
And then just find the $5 that you actually dropped.
Sure. But yeah, I certainly on the interwebs.
I've actually been meaning to get the. I still have left the mango habanero at Jesse's house.
What? You never drank it?
It's still sitting at Jesse's
Look,
house.
dude, that crap's fire. Like for
Yeah,
real.
I'm planning on grabbing it from Sunday when I actually go over there for D&D.
All right, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I've got.
Yeah, he wanted to taste it and he left it at the house and he's just like, yeah, I never really actually opened it.
I have basically one glass a week while we play D&D, and that's it. So, but there's 50 plus gallons in my house. All right, cool. I think we're about ready. Yeah. Well, so Isaac, do you drink at all?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Just a personal preference.
Yeah, no.
I
Definitely.
drive too much. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Anytime I hang out with people, I'm always driving.
Yeah. Well, so I other than let's say my one glass a week, the only times I really ever drink beyond that is when I'm on vacation at like a hotel or something where I'm not going to go anywhere for days. Because yeah, like I said, I mean I do drive a lot, so it's you have to be responsible about that kind of stuff. So
I only ever end up drinking like every few weeks. Like we just end up like, hey, Adam, want to drink? Yeah, cool, that'll work.
So, but making meat is a lot of fun because you can. It's like baking. You can experiment and make flavors and things like that. So
It's few month long baking.
yeah, well, I mean, like in 3 months you can have something drinkable, definitely. So, all right, cool. So, where we're gonna open up at is you guys have already set up on your quest. You're already en route to this this sort of castle that has these magical properties to achieve your goals of getting renewed bodies or getting that new hoe you so desperately desire. Is there any reason why there's not like a hoe store? Well, you want like an enchanted one that won't break though. That's what you're looking for, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You're looking for
Easy guy.
that enchanted hoe. Everyone's looking for the enchanted hoe.
Apparently so.
The mystical hoe.
Yeah. So you're gonna find yourself sort of in the outskirts of where the castle is, in this sort of like wasteland area. And I think where we're going to open up at, you're currently being chased by something. You guys.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah. So the first question, I guess,
T-Rex.
is what's chasing you, and the second question is why is it chasing you, right? It's a cat.
What did you do?
Try to pet something fluffy and fiery.
How'd you know? I thought it was more squirrels. Turned out it was not squirrels. I don't know what it was actually
Flaming possums. Okay.
there you go.
Except for they're like 5 foot tall.
Flaming possums are fairly vicious.
Yeah.
And they'll tear through your crops.
So you tried to pet these flaming possums, thinking they were larger squirrels, and they weren't. These possums don't play dead; they make you dead. Right. So.
Oh, they're playing. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. Right. So you're being chased by how many fire possums is it?
They usually travel in packs of 4.
4.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. 4, it was unanimous. 4 is a good number. All right, cool. So can everyone see the picture? Is that
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay? So you see that bridge there?
Mhm.
Yep. So you're making your way across the bridge, and you're being chased by these 4 flaming possums. But something stops you from going any further. What is the thing that stops you, that gets in your way?
I'd say a cliff. That looks pretty precarious.
Okay, so there's like a broken part of the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So now you're backed up against the edge of the cliff, and the 4 possums are in front of you, and you have nowhere to go, and your only option might be to fight them. I guess you might have some other options that I'm unaware of. So what do you do?
I'm like, Ranger, range. Let's make some more animal companions.
Cool.
That's right. We need to make friends here. That seems like the thing to do.
You're just gonna be like,
We kill the people and the we protect the animals. So let's
right?
We do the what?
let's recruit the we kill the people, but we don't kill the animals. Let's recruit the
But aren't-
possums.
Aren't we people?
Here, possum.
Mostly.
So are we going to charisma roll a possum? Is that what's happening right now?
I think
Yes.
so. Yeah.
Here, possum.
All right, cool. So like the only one of you that has any sort of animal taming ability would be Miep, right? The rest of you are
Yeah. That's why I said Ranger range.
Ranger range.
right. So
Am I doing this?
I guess you don't have to. You can
The one
shoot.
in the middle is named Sweet Potato.
Is that the one we're going for?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he's the nicest looking of the
Oh,
bugs.
sweet potato, come here.
Because we've named it, do we get an advantage?
No.
That's a 9.
All right.
Oh, okay.
So hold on. Let me. Middle left or middle right?
Middle left.
Cool. Left. You're facing left, right? So, that one is now sweet potato.
Sweet potato.
Right.
I called that one Carrot.
So and that'll be on your charisma. So what is your charisma rating?
It's 1. You mean the modifier?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 1.
Okay. So your 9 becomes oh yeah, that's 9. Okay, so total.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So of the 4 of them, sweet potato, as you so affectionately call it, definitely halts at attack. It's not under your control, but it's certainly considering the possibility of not devouring you.
We got some squirrel chow.
But in the meantime, the other 3, they're still quite at large. Can I get everyone to roll 2d6 either on strength or dexterity for a defy danger?
Okay.
I hate
Woo,
these moments.
9.
Oops. I did that wrong.
I got a 10.
2d6 plus.
Woo!
Right?
What now?
2d6 plus strength.
I failed.
Or dexterity. You can choose either or. It depends on whether you want to dodge or power through.
Oh, 5.
Okay.
Bye, Ignis.
Mine was a 6.
Actually, mine was 11.
Mine was a 9.
Okay. So so Miep dodges any attacks entirely, right? Miep completely.
I'm riding on the back of Sweet Potato.
Right. Quite possibly, since Sweet Potato has some affection for you, the others are sort of even leaving you alone.
That's not fair, right?
Yeah. Jebediah, as one sort of runs by you, its tail sort of like hits you in the leg, and that's just going to do a little bit of damage. We'll roll for that. 2 damage. You can deduct any armor from that you have, but mostly unscathed. However, both Danica and Ignis, you're going to suffer some problems, right?
Yeah.
So
Gotta watch the tails.
yeah. So how are you attempting to dodge this, Danica?
Well, there wasn't a lot of ways to go, so I just kind of tried to push myself up against the bridge, but it was a pretty narrow bridge.
Yeah. So when you do so, one of them sort of like latches onto your thigh with its sharp, pointy teeth, and the whole thing's like a blaze, right? So when it latches on, you feel a very searing, burning sensation, almost just like you're being cut by a hot knife. And when that happens, you're going to take... oh, look at that. Just 1 damage. You can that ignores armor because it's fire damage.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ignis, you've got 2, and as they approach, it seems like maybe you're still trying to pet them, I guess.
My hands are out.
Yeah.
Ignis is like thinking back to like working on the farm. Is like he remembers Jebediah. He doesn't know if he was exactly talking about like working the farm or something else, but he remembers like grabbing. He said, "Grab the bull by the horns."
Yeah.
And and he all the while that he's like, Ignis is just kind of bracing himself, and he's just like kind of saying to himself like, "Cute and fluffy, cute and fluffy."
Yeah. So
Where's the horns?
So one of them grabs you by the ankle and drags you to the ground, and the other one, the other one sort of jumps on top of you, and sort of is it's on top of you, drooling on your face. The fall to the ground plus the weight of the other one jumping on top of you is going to deal some damage. That's 7 damage. You can deduct armor from that though.
I have
Yeah, that sucks. So you are currently pinned down by the flaming possums. Let's what is Jeb doing?
Let's see.
Wait.
Hold on, I have a question.
Yeah.
Since 7 is an odd number, can I use my fighting fire with fire? Whenever I take damage and that number is odd,
Yeah.
flames within me come to aid me? Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
use that to heal myself 1d4.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Boom. 3.
Nice.
Nice save.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And that's every time I could take odd damage.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I wanted to ask, if we attack these, is Sweet Potato going to attack too? Like, is he going to change his mind about joining me?
That's a chance you're gonna have to take.
Please don't attack them, guys. I want Sweet Potato.
Oh,
I
shut
know.
up. You didn't want him. This is all because of me. You're welcome.
But look
As
at
I'm
it.
getting mauled, I'm like, you're welcome. Ah!
So,
Kid, I'll punch you off the side.
so what is
I'm
Jeb?
conflicted because we have a child in our party, which I'm like, naive child, want to protect that, but also want to protect the
I'm
possums.
not that. Ignis isn't that young. He's 18.
You're a
I thought you said 12.
No,
he's not.
18.
Okay, well then never mind. Let him take him.
Never mind. I'll be 12. Do whatever you want.
I'm a fucking 12-year-old.
I'm sorry, I thought it was an actual kid.
Just the
Well,
mind.
you're
of a
not
child.
12. Screw you. You're out.
Yeah.
My protective qualities, if they're not my own, after 18, you're on your own.
Gotta kick her out of nest and hope
Hold
they
on. This
fly.
isn't after 18. This is at 18.
She's
Yeah.
she's like, here's a pack of cigarettes
For
and
Ignis?
switchblade. Good luck.
For Ignis, we'll make an exception. Get rid of it. No!
Sweet Potato attack.
So
I choose
So-
you.
Sweet,
Okay.
Sweet Potato is not obey you. He's just not killing you. So what is Jeb doing?
Alright, at Miep's request, I'm not gonna kill it, but I am gonna drag the possum off of the top of Ignis.
Okay. The one that's grabbing him by the leg, or the one that's directly on top of him?
Directly on top.
Okay, all right. So how are you gonna just like chuck it off, or?
I'm gonna grab it by the tail and I'm gonna haul it like it's a plow.
All right, so yeah, roll plus strength then.
9.
All right, cool. So yeah, you grab it by the tail and you start pulling it off. It doesn't seem to like that too much, but you do manage to do so. But it's made of fire, right? So you do sustain some burns from grabbing it by the tail. So we're gonna do just a little bit of a damage. So 3 damage, ignoring armor from burns. But you do.
Yeah, I'm a demon.
You do. Oh, that's right. You're not gonna take anything, are you? Because you.
Nope. Armor rating counts against fire,
yep.
So I have to take 1 damage.
Yep. So you sustain very little from that as you pull it off, and you do successfully pull it off. I would even say at this moment you're basically holding the thing in the air by its tail as it sort of thrashes and flails about angrily.
Calm it down, boy.
Yep. What is Danica doing while this is happening?
Interestingly enough, I'd like to use a book from my bag of books, and I'd like to know more about flame possums, something that maybe we can use, like their behavioral patterns, the food that they like to eat, that sort of thing, something that we could use to entice them to maybe love us a little.
So hold on. You're telling me that you have a book specifically about flame possums. The whole book is about flame possums.
Actually, just an underworld bestiary.
It was written by
Okay. All right. Because listen,
the book Miep offered after learning more about Danica.
Yeah.
All right. So so what does
Underworld 101?
Why
Learn
wouldn't
about
you
our
give me that
wildlife.
book? Why wouldn't you give me that book?
Because I don't want you touching wild animals.
Well, you failed.
What does your book say about flame possums then? Tell me.
It says that they tend to be territorial, which is obviously he disturbed a nest,
Miep
reaching
glances
over
over at it, Ignis like.
They actually the squirrel chow that Miep has loads and loads and loads of also tends to be a food source of many of the animals in the underworld.
Okay.
And
it's made up.
once again, we learned they travel in packs of 4, and that, like I said, they're typically docile unless they're provoked. But they thought that they were being provoked because Ignis was too close to a nest.
Okay, cool. So do you tell Miep to throw some food, some squirrel chow out, or what do you do?
I'm just shouting facts from the book, just like
Okay.
just like yelling anything I can that's gonna help us.
You're like their average lifespan is this many years,
Yeah.
and they grow to be this many pounds to this many pounds. They really like dandelions.
They can grow to the average weight.
33 feet.
So Miep, you have this information about the chow and whatnot. Actually, we're gonna revisit that in 1 second. Ignis, you've just had the flame possum pulled off of you, and I feel like maybe you've shaken your leg free of the other one. What are you doing?
Please don't try and hug it. Please.
After hearing that, I will reach out and grab some of the squirrel chow that I had secretly bought that Miep didn't know about.
Oh.
And I'm gonna keep it in my hand. I'm gonna
wait. Okay, so hold on.
You don't even have to say you bought it. You work for me. Of course, I give you a little bit.
Okay, no, hold on. We're gonna roll for this, right? So we're gonna roll to see if you grabbed the right chow. All right.
Oh no!
I have different chows.
Yeah, there are different chows for different animals. So
There's aggressive chow and then there's the nice chow.
You got your rodent chow, your reptile chow,
Hold
your
on.
cow chow.
I would have only taken the one that would have gone to Nat, and if that's the only one I was interested in.
right, but okay, so the thing is
The
that
the bags all look the same.
you have to.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. You're just gonna assume that I grabbed the wrong bed.
No.
That's not,
We're
No,
gonna
you
roll.
rolled to see if you grabbed the right bag.
So roll 2d6
I'm gonna
on
be
your
mad if y'all are right.
roll
Try
2d6 on
how
your
much
wisdom to see if
Oh,
you
no.
grabbed the correct chow.
Wisdom?
Yeah.
I'm actually very wise. It's all good.
Oh.
Look at
Surprising.
that.
Holy
Hey,
crap!
hey,
I
and
got a 13.
look at that.
Yeah.
You. Not only did you grab the right chow, but you grabbed like the highest grade of the right chow.
Aw.
All right.
Yeah.
So what do you do with it?
I'm gonna offer it to the possum that was just biting my leg.
Okay. All right. So
I'm gonna name that one Pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Okay. So hold on. Let me write down. Pumpkin. All right.
Oh my gosh, this is great. I'm gonna have 4 big
No!
possums
No,
at my
you're not.
disposal. They will follow
You're
me.
not.
I'm the ranger.
We each get one.
Exactly.
So so you start feeding Pumpkin the chow, and it starts gobbling it up, and it seems pretty pleased with itself from this. So it's like I said, it's not like under your control or anything to that effect, but it's certainly it eats all the chow, and it sort of just like looks at you like more, right? Yeah.
Damn
Oh,
right,
point
Jeb's
at
chow's
me.
the best chow.
You're
Yeah.
gonna look at me.
No, I'm gonna point at Meep when it looks for more.
Yeah. And so what does Meep do?
Is there
Okay.
more?
So I have there is more, but I have a question.
Yeah.
Would you like me to roll on it or just pull it out of my adventure gear since it's given that I have it?
You can just pull out of your adventure gear because you've been buying this for your squirrel. You obviously you've got the right thing.
Okay, yeah.
The other ones make his tummy grumbly.
Meep looks down at Nats and is like, "I'm sorry, your rations gotta go. I'll feed you later." And I'll pull it out and scatter it about in front of
Yeah.
Jeb says we're good for it.
the possums.
Let- so-
Nats is probably trying to grab it up, like, "Oh,
Let's
no."
let's you know what let's do a roll. Let's do a roll in charisma to see if you've like pacified Nats with your words, or if Nats is not going to take too kindly to this act.
Oh, Nats. That is, hold on. You said charisma?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's a 10.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so Nats understands, right? Nats knows that you're in peril and that this is the option, right?
Right.
So which one are you sort of giving it to?
I guess I'll give it to the. Wait, no, he has it in his hands. I'll just give it to the one that's closest to Ignis to keep him from biting him again, just in case.
Pumpkin.
Yeah, Pumpkin.
So well, Pumpkin's already had food, so you're going to also feed Pumpkin then?
No, I already gave Pumpkin food.
So he has one in his hand, right? He's just got it
Yeah,
up.
there's one in my hand, and the only other one that hasn't been fed or pacified is the one that's biting on Danica right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
now I'll toss it to that one then. Be like,
Alright.
Get off!
Yeah. So it definitely lets loose of Danica and starts gobbling down the food. While it's sort of like
I'm naming her
that-
fire starter.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. FS.
So we got sweet potato, carrot,
No, Pumpkin.
pumpkin.
Yeah, Pumpkin, fire starter, and the dangly bits.
The dangly bits?
That's so. I don't know what you call it. That's what Jeb's holding the dangly one.
Yes, this is dangly bits.
Oh my god!
You'd be surprised at how heavy possum balls are.
He's the special one out of the group.
Yeah. Well, dangly bits is still pretty angry, right? So,
Dangly Bits has a crossed eye.
right. So what is Jeb doing with dangly bits right now?
Well, dangly bits is above his head. Jeb's also gonna pull some chow out of his bag and be like, "All right, calm it down now."
All right. So do you hand feed dangly bits, or you put it on the ground? How's that happening?
Put it on the ground, and then I put dangly bits on the ground in front of it.
Cool.
Like, you gonna eat now.
Yeah. So dangly bits gobbles up that food, but now sort of you've got these possums who are momentarily satiated by the food you've given them, but who knows if it's going to stay that way? Once they discover there's no more food, right? What is Danica doing at this moment?
Danica is. Well, until we can figure out what to do, I want to try to cast invisibility on myself.
Oh, okay.
Why?
just in case it goes wrong.
Leave all of us for
Dag,
dead.
No,
nabbit, where did
I'll be
Danica
able
go?
to help. They just can't see me, and because they're beasts, they'll probably be a lot easily fooled. So.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I pick
Hold
up
on.
the book and it's like, oh, it looks like fire possums actually hate the smell of magic.
So what?
It's an 8. It's an 8.
Yeah, cool. There's some rules about that, right? So if you look on your character sheet, when you roll a 7 and 9, you have to give up something of some sort, whether you lose the spell or draw unwanted attention, or so. What do you choose as your negative for completing the spell?
I'll lose the spell. I'll go invisible for a second and then come right back, phase right back in.
Well, no, you'll stay invisible until something causes you to be invisible. You just won't be able to cast a spell again until you've rested, basically.
Okay.
Yep.
Jebediah is also visibly confused as to where Danica went.
So yeah, so
Neat party trick.
Kind of whispered. I was just like, I'm gonna just kind of phase out for a second.
yeah, so well, explain to me the magic. Tell me how you turn invisible. How does it happen?
I kind of channel my energy into my staff. I think about it really, really hard. And like, if I do a good job, I actually disappear. And if I don't, I just look like Shaq hiding behind the tree. That meme.
All right. So yeah, you hold your staff up and you disappear completely.
Focus. Yeah.
Is anyone surprised by this? Have y'all seen Danica do this before, or is this a new thing?
Oh, it freaks me out.
That's a neat party trick. Can you show me how to do that?
Danica! Oh god, the possum ate Danica!
Yeah.
Miep's just staring silently at both of them like, you're idiots. We're all gonna die here.
Yeah. Yeah. So
We've already died once.
so-
most of us.
Miep is a seasoned adventurer. Miep's had plenty of adventures before this point. Also, being 200 years old doesn't help, or does help.
I'm good. I can still help. I'm just,
So you're gone, and Jeb's sort of like flipping out just a little bit. Yeah.
Miep's
So-
silently praying that one of the possums eats them.
Yeah. So Ignis, you've got these possums staring at all of you, sort of intent on getting more food. What do you do?
Well, I check my pockets. I see that I have no more food.
Mhm.
I look to the others like, so is this where we go?
Yes,
Or-
we're gonna back away slowly from the possums.
No. So here's the thing: you can't back away. You've got like a cliff behind you, right? So you've got to go past them. You've got to walk past them to do this. So you're just gonna try and like edge past.
I will.
I'm invisible, so it's fairly easy
Yeah.
for
Okay.
me to just kind of sneak.
All right. So
And I don't have the ability anymore, so I can't make you guys invisible. But
So
my bad.
Danica gets a pass. Danica passes right by them, no problem. If I could get the other three of you to roll Defy Danger on Dexterity, so 2d6 plus Dex.
Can gnats talk to them and talk to me?
You could roll on Charisma for that, sure.
Okay.
I fail horribly.
Yeah.
Jebediah
That's
is still freaking out.
That's an 8.
Okay. Nats tries to converse with them. He basically just, but all he can tell you basically is that they want to know where more food is. That's their single-minded focus is on the food.
I saw more food down by the river. Why don't
You
go
think
down
fire
that way?
possums are gonna go to the river?
It's a
Yeah.
river of fire.
Yeah.
Well, is there a way to communicate back that there's food elsewhere?
So yeah, we can come up in the same role. So you I guess convey to Nats. You try and tell them there's food elsewhere, but they only sort of
They're like, you just had food. Come on.
they say back to Nats. 2 legs have food. 2 legs have food.
Oh,
They want food.
Yeah.
fire
So
possum.
the rolls for walking by. What did we all get on that? So
Hold on.
8.
8
You said 2d6
plus Dex.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a
impressive.
9.
Yeah. Okay. And then Jeb got a 4, huh?
Jeb ain't even trying. Jeb's sprinting around trying to find Danica. Like, Danica! Oh, God!
Over here.
Right.
He's like picking up the possums, like looking underneath them.
Right. So here's what happens, right? Both Miep and Ignis. I mean, so Danica gets by scot-free. Both Miep and Ignis get just past them as they're sort of just like staring. But Jeb's still freaking out about Danica missing, right? And his panic is causing the fire possums to get pretty agitated, right? They're having unease about the situation now. And so what ends up happening is they now angered by there not being any more food, all simultaneously jump on Jebediah. They latch onto him.
Oh no.
Yeah. Dangly Bits, Sweet Pea, Pumpkin, and Firestarter. Yeah, they all jump on him, and they all ignite at the same time, right? Yeah. Yep.
Unfortunate.
And they sort of even explode. Danica knows from her book that fire possums are a lot like phoenixes, in that they explode and are reborn from the explosion, right? Yeah. So we're gonna roll for some damage on poor old Jebediah first, because the explosion's happening on Jebediah.
Jebediah gonna be dead as fuck.
Bye, Jeb.
So that's 4 of them.
If only there was some way to have avoided this.
Well.
Yeah. So just 7 damage, 7 fire damage, and you can ignore that. Ignores all.
Jebediah's still fine.
Yep. And then both Miep and Ignis take 1 fire damage.
I took an odd number.
Yep.
I'll use this opportunity to roll a d4.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back.
Yep.
I'm at 18.
Yeah. So
The explosion heals him.
yeah. So Miep takes 1 fire damage
As soon as they're
in the blast wave.
fire possums turn to ash, Ignis is like on his knees, and like the ash is like, "Oh God, what happened?"
Yeah. So the ash piles that are the possums start to smolder, and it looks like something's gonna maybe like come out of them. Is that something you guys are gonna hang around for, or are you gonna?
Can we collect it safely in something?
You wanna put it in like a bag?
Sure.
Okay.
A good bag they're not gonna break free of without. You have to roll for that, I know.
So I'm gonna tell you how
we do it, guys.
Right. Well,
We bag the ashes.
I'm gonna tell you how that's gonna work. All right.
Okay.
So basically you're gonna roll to see if you can get it in the bag, and then once it's in the bag, I am going to periodically through the campaign have you roll to see if it stays contained in the bag.
Oh no.
Should we do it, guys?
We've got a bomb, guys. We've got a bomb.
Go for it. Make sure that you get sweet potato.
We're gonna sweep up all the ashes into one bag.
Oh. Okay.
Ignis will not take part solely because he doesn't know that they revive, and he thinks they're all dead. And he's like, "No,
You weren't listening when I read the book."
Each of the ashes are a different color.
All right. So what are we
Ignis
rolling on?
Ignis
What are we
thinks
rolling
this
on?
is very disrespectful and does not
Yeah.
approve. They're
Um,
dead. Don't disrespect them like
Yeah,
that.
so-
The
Not
underworld.
disrespecting.
Shut up.
It's like cremation. It's fine.
So roll on your Constitution for each one. So each possum.
Each one.
Yeah, for each one. You'll
Oh my
need to
god.
roll on Constitution for collecting it into your bag of holding, as it were.
I'm not sure if I should do this anymore. Who has good constitution? Can someone else hold the bag?
Hold on.
I've got a 15.
I have a +1.
I have a plus nothing, so somebody else gotta have that bag.
What if we each rolled for 1?
You could, sure.
Yeah, for our own. I want to roll for Firestarter, so.
Okay.
I'll roll for squiggly
Oh,
bits.
thank God! It's a 10.
All right, cool,
I got a 9.
That's an 8 on squiggly.
cool.
Wiggly.
Squiggly bits. Have you changed the name?
Dangly bits. Yeah.
Dangly bits. It's dangly bits.
Alright,
My
cool.
bad.
I got a 9 on sweet potato.
Okay, so anyone rolling 7 to 9, you do manage to get in the bag, but you're gonna take a little bit of fire damage because it's burning you as you're putting it in the bag, right?
Okay.
So we're gonna roll for that. So two fire damage. as you're putting it into the bag because you don't have.
I
other
used part of
mitts.
my protective robe to.
I'm used to it. I just barehanded into the sack.
Yeah. All right.
My tender hands are burnt.
All right. So who's got what?
I've got dangly bits.
Okay.
Fire starter.
All right. So Pumpkin's ashes are still on the ground, smoldering. Ignis, are you joining in this process, or are you just letting it be?
No.
No.
I'm still ignorant to the fact that they revive, and I think this is wholly disrespectful.
Yeah.
I'm standing by it.
Pick it up.
I'm gonna look over at Ignis and be like, "This is good for the farm, son. Pick it up."
It'll help fertilize the crops, and he'll have a new purpose or something. Whatever.
If you spread it far enough, they don't revive, but it will increase the chill corn's radius of growth.
Wow, that
my
sounds
God.
sad.
Got a 9.
All right. Yeah. So you'll also take the 2 damage
No.
if you're scooping it into your bag. All right. So cool. Everyone has this dangerous reviving thing in their bag. That's fine.
It's basically a life-threatening Pokemon. It's fine.
That won't cause any problems later for sure.
When no one's looking as we start to go, I'm gonna give Pumpkin a burial. Bury the bag.
Okay.
Just say, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry it ended this way. Just pat it and leave.
Yeah. So
Now he'll never resurrect.
no, hold on. Let me get your roll on Dex to see if you do it without anyone noticing. Right. So roll 2d6 plus your Dex.
I got a
I'm
10.
gonna send-
Oh,
my
no.
God.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
gonna send Nats
Some
to
pet
fight it.
cemetery shit.
yeah. So you bury your bag, and no one notices you do it, and
He
so,
revives and starts to follow us.
Yeah. So
I hate
And-
And
big
I'm gonna
things.
think this through. I'd like to poke a hole in the bag or I'd like to dump the ashes in and bury them,
yeah.
and then poke a hole in the bag and just say, "Oh look, the bag must have been leaking. My bad, guys."
Sure. That's fine. Yeah.
I
I
got my cover story.
I allow it.
That's that wisdom coming into play.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So how much time we got? All right.
Nat,
What a terrible way to end the day. So
Nat's
many
gonna-
friends lost.
Nat's gonna go up to him and look like he's gonna let him hold him for once, but he's gonna bite his hand as he goes for it.
Oh no.
Aw.
It's okay, Nat. I understand your feelings. It's one of the reasons why I love you.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So do you do anything else in this area before you sort of make your way further on?
I did see this cave over here. There could. You guys want to go check it out?
No.
Mystery cave!
Okay.
Oh, never mind.
Now,
Replace the friends we lost on the way.
I'd be careful with caves now, Ignis. You might get that Mongolian death worm.
And as he speaks things into existence. Okay.
Stop.
Let me.
Now, at those words, Ignis would just make a 180 turn back to the group.
All right,
Okay,
player-wise,
thank
Mongolian death worms aren't extremely large. They are very tiny, just highly poisonous.
Cool.
Oh no!
Wait,
What are you
are they-
doing?
Wait, okay, are they worm size or are they Mongolian size?
They're actually worm-sized.
Mongolian sized?
They're a country.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's what I'm
god.
getting at. Are they huge or are they worm?
Their poison can kill Mongolia.
No.
See, they're big enough that you can spell them like WURM. That kind of worm.
Yeah.
No! No!
Yeah.
I can't. What did it say?
It said Mongolian death worm.
We're circled.
You don't have to worry,
Use it.
Tate. Canonically, you're not allowed to die.
I mean,
Jeb, on the other hand, gets to explode. Hopefully.
It's true. So Miep is barred from permadeath in this campaign because she exists in the future, or Miep exists in the future. But the rest of you, fair game. So, anyways,
It's okay.
I'm gonna run into
Ignis's
everything.
eventual demise is already planned out in my head.
so
Wow.
The kind of guy that would die though.
now, so I will say as we're getting closer to the end of the evening. we're doing this as just a 2-week campaign, but that doesn't mean that this particular storyline can't continue on at a later date. Miep is as fictionally in the underworld for about 200 years, so a good bit of time passes, and there's lots of adventure that can be had before Miep's resurrection. So
I'm more than happy to play Jebediah Krogan all the time.
Yeah. So, anyways, if we decide we want to carry these characters on, we can. So, anyways, you guys are going to make your way more towards the castle. You've skirted away from the cave and its Mongolian death worms. Yep. But certainly, I it's something that exists in this world. You can thank Jebediah for that. So you reach a point where you can sort of see the castle in the distance. So there's probably a panel for that. Yep. So you see this sort of castle on a mountain in the distance. This is where you are headed. This is the place that has the mystical properties that will allow you to renew your undead bodies, and also it's where the it's where you can also pick up mystical hose.
That is amazing looking.
Yeah.
I like that castle.
I kind of like
to live there
better.
So you see the castle in the distance. Is there anything you notice about it that catches your eye, or?
The lights are on.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Is there's definitely people in there.
There's something in there for sure. People's a pretty loose term.
Yeah, people, things, creatures.
This is the underworld, after all.
Are there more demons? Are there royal demons?
More friends to me.
It's 10 million Mongolian death worms.
Oh God!
I hear they're high in protein.
Yeah, they've
maybe Arthur died in the explosion and he's somewhere in here. Who knows?
Yes. If you can catch and properly cook them, they do make for a mighty fine snack.
Well, these ones have situated themselves into a large linen sack, and they like to gamble a lot. So they might call
mech suit.
They might call themselves Oogie Boogie. Who knows?
Oh God!
All right, cool. So, is there anything you'd like to do before you start approaching the castle, or?
I'm gonna slap Ignis one more time.
Yeah.
Ow! What was that for?
So Danica's
that's fine.
Danica's still invisible, I assume, at this point. You've not done anything necessarily to dispel your invisibility.
I guess, yeah, sure, why not?
Has anyone explained to Jebediah where Danica is?
No,
They tried.
I found her.
Jebediah is still freaking out.
I literally looked at him and went, "I'm invisible, but I'm right here." But he doesn't understand.
No,
Yeah.
Ghost!
As soon as she becomes visible again, I'm just gonna be like, Jebediah, there she is. I found her.
Undead ghost.
All right, cool. All right. So, you can see sort of up the path, the winding road that goes up. The path looks the ground's a little shaky, right? It doesn't look like the safest place to walk. Do you have any way that you want to deal with that, or you just want to try and traverse it as carefully as possible?
Well, as a good old farmer, Jebediah's used to unshaky ground. Knows you got to poke it with a stick to make sure it's safe.
All right. So, do you have a stick?
I'm gonna pull out a 6-foot stick from my bag.
Yeah, he needs to be in the lead so that he can be the ground poker.
Yeah, okay. All right. So then mark one of your venturing items off your list. Pull out your 6-foot poker, and yeah, let me
We were talking about the stick, right?
Yes, the stick.
There's a reason I'm popular with the fellas. I mean, ladies.
Is it because of your personality?
Get yourself another main character, bye.
So, I have no experience in that world, but I feel like bigger is probably not better in that particular
It's probably
scenario.
spiky.
Right?
When you have to please an ogre.
Oh, I guess. Sure. Anyways, is it like your hands?
It is actually a fully formed hand.
whole new meaning to giving a hand, dude.
No. They call him Firehand
Super deep.
Jebediah.
I have so many questions that I can't ask. Anyway,
Listen, Mike, out of character, we need to make just a nice campaign about Jebediah's rise to presidency.
so anyways, so you're poking the ground with your stick. That's what's happening. Let's do a roll. Let's roll on your intellect for poking the correct locations, I guess.
Oh shit!
Let's roll on to see how successful your poking is.
That's a 7.
Okay. So as you're poking the ground, there are definitely some places that fall off as you poke them. You don't step in those places. You do come to one scenario where you actually poke the ground and everything in front of you sort of falls away, and now there's about a 4-foot gap in between you and where the path continues. So how are you guys going to traverse that gap?
Can I make a fire lasso and just kind of like Tarzan my way across?
Yeah, you can use a burning brand to create a fire lasso if you want to.
Would it be that, or would it be like Zuko?
So in order to do the Zuko style, there has to be some sort of fire already present. Now, what you can do is you can create your burning brand, which does generate fire, and then you can expend that fire by doing the Zuko style. So.
Okay, sure. I'll do that then.
So it's a 2-part roll. First to summon your brand, and then to.
So that's a 10.
All right, cool. So then tell me what kind of weapon you brandish.
We'll say a whip.
Okay, and then how do you form it?
What do you mean?
Like, are you like Voltron style, where you're like clapping your hands together and pulling it out, and there it exists, or are you like drawing in there with your finger, or?
No, I'll like snap my fingers and just like kind of flip my wrist as if I already have a whip in my hands, and it kind of just from beginning in my palm to the very tip of the whip that it cracks.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And it's there.
All right. Cool. What is going on here? Anyways.
Hold on. This is what I did, but it wouldn't go on.
Cool.
I put it in the chat.
Fitness gram.
Yeah. All right. So you create this whip. What do you do with it?
I'm gonna see a sturdy point where I can like kind of secure it, and I'm gonna whip it, and then I'm gonna like Tarzan across.
Okay. Okay. So then let's get a roll on dexterity too for getting across.
Okay. I'm not good at this. I got a 2.
Oh God!
So you do well. Here's what happens, right? You do manage to lasso sort of like a large boulder type spire thing that is across the way, and you do manage to start your descent across. But you're just not really adept at swinging because it's not something you've had to do in your life as a noble, right? So you make it to the other side, but you sort of slam against the side of the wall and just barely catch on, and so you're going to take some damage from hitting the wall. And also, as soon as you hit, your firebrand sort of immediately disappears, and so you're just left hanging on the ledge of the other side. So the damage you take is 4. So take 4 damage. You can deduct armor from that, and you're now sort of left hanging on the other side at the moment.
Well, I
How big is
almost
this
got
gap?
there.
Yeah. All right. So who's next? Who else is going to try and make their way across?
How big is this gap?
About 4 foot.
Oh, did
About 4 foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I really
I
even have enough room to try and
I'm just-
swing across them?
I'm just gonna like
Yeah.
I'm gonna lightly toss Miep and Danica across. Like I can
Yeet.
basically just step over this gap.
Right. So you'll need to volley basically. So you're gonna have to roll for each. And then the other part is do you guys allow
Alright.
yourselves to be thrown?
Sure.
Miep's surprised, but Miep can't really do anything about it.
Well, you could roll against it if you wanted to.
Nah, it's fine.
All right.
But Meep's
Meeps
definitely
comes up to
startled.
my shin.
Yeah. Now you guys could roll plus your bonds to aid or assist him to sort of
Yeah.
do so.
I'll kind of help with my staff. Kind of give myself a running start.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let me ask you a question
off.
because you're still invisible, right? So he
Yeah.
can't see you to pick you up. Do you become invisible or do you dispel?
Yeah, I really need to dispel because.
All right. So before we do any of that, then let's play out the dispelling of the magic. Tell me how you appear, and then let's get a reaction and see what happens.
Well, he's still really sad because he's like, oh my God, Danica. But if she were only here, I would help her across.
While hanging there, I'll with my other arm point and say, "I found her, Jebediah."
Okay.
And I materialize and very sarcastically go, right here.
Okay. Jebediah, how do you
Okay,
react?
are you ready for the reaction?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez! Oh, God! You're alive! Alright. Okay. Hi!
Hello.
Cool. And what is Miep doing during all of this?
Getting tossed, I guess.
Meep's searching around in her adventure gear for some alcohol.
All
I need some of that before I get to the end.
right, cool. So who are you throwing first then, Jeb?
Well, I'm gonna try to toss Meep first.
All right.
And we're gonna see how that roll is.
All right, cool. And Miep, are you rolling for the
What is
assist?
volley on?
It's Dex.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Oh.
You just like slam Meep into the ground.
Cool. Cool.
Danica kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Cool.
You slung me, but you slung me a little too hard. I went way further than I needed to go.
Cool. Well, so here's
just getting yeeted.
here's what happens, right? You throw Meep, and Meep goes pretty high, and it's seemingly going to go pretty far. But that spire that Ignis had lassoed onto, it's just sticking up there. Meep actually slams to that and tumbles down, and as Meep falls down, grabs onto Ignis's legs, and now Meep is hanging by Ignis's ankles, who is hanging by the ledge.
Oh well, thanks for dropping.
Oh
by.
God! Oh no! Oh God! Oh God!
Oh well, hey Meep. Thanks
I'm gonna need you to
dropping
calm
by.
down before you throw me.
Yeah, and Meep, let me get you to roll 2d6 on Defy Danger on your dexterity to see if you avoided taking any damage during that.
Okay, so that's like a 10.
Yeah, okay. So you did manage to tumble and avoid taking damage even though you were thrown. So that's good, on your ranger skills. So are we gonna throw Danica now, or what's happening?
I would like to assist, please.
Okay.
Assist plus
You
bond.
know what? You know what? Instead of throwing, hold on to the stick. just hold on.
Oh, really? Now you're gonna use the stick?
Yeah!
Hold on to the stick. I'm gonna.
You mean
I'm
Make it
just gonna
stronger.
reach you
'cause
across.
This is how I assist. It's the stick, and then I have the staff, and we use both of them so it's stronger to lean me over the
hold
edge.
on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you threw the 3-foot gnome over a 4-foot hole
Yeah.
that you had a 6-foot stick with?
It was supposed to be a light toss, and then all of a sudden she materializes out of nowhere.
Listen, I'm no mathematician, but the math
You're no mathematician.
ain't
Anyway.
adding up. You had a 6-foot stick
Oh, no.
with you. The hole was only 4 foot.
It's okay, Meep. We're just gonna hang here for a little bit.
Nothing, nothing like friends hanging out.
I mean, I'm glad that you could drop by, but I hate that you're already wanting to go.
Listen, man, no one saw this coming, all right? You don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, I can't stop.
Oh God.
So, anyways,
At least he tried to help you.
yeah. So, well, hold on. If you're hoisting Danica over to the other side, you still need to roll with strength.
Okay, me or
Yes,
Zebediah.
that is something I'm proficient in.
Yeah. Do you want to roll to
Wait.
assist?
I do want to roll to assist. How do I do that? Two sixes and on what?
It's 9,
plus
so
bonds. 2d6 plus bonds. What's your
Okay, that's going to be a 9.
Okay. So you do assist. You give a +1.
cool.
So that makes it a 10, right?
So that makes it a 10.
Yep. So yeah, you.
Okay, carefully.
Oh, excuse us. Watch out, Meep. People are coming by. Sorry if I take a little bit.
Yeah.
Meep's contemplating on letting go.
So yeah, you successfully.
Gnome, don't do it.
No.
Hey, while you're down there, can you tie my shoe? I can feel it coming loose a little.
Bite your ankle.
So yeah, you set Danica off on the other side without a hitch. You just sort of just set her over, and then are Ignis and Miep doing anything while this is all going on?
No, that seems counterproductive.
Yeah.
I feel like something bad would happen if we tried to interrupt. Isn't that right, Meep?
Meep's probably using her free hand to drink from a flask.
Right.
My pa said that kills, ruins your liver.
I'm gonna pull out a blunt and
Light it on the hellfire.
All right, cool. Yep, cats. What is Jeb doing now that he's set Danica over on the other side?
He should probably use the
Jeb's
stick to
gonna
help
hop
him.
over and try to pull him up.
Cool. Well, let me get you for hopping over. Let's roll 2 on Dex, 2d6 on Dex for hopping.
Oh yes, because we know how Dex works so well for me. Oh shit,
Are you
11.
freaking
Okay,
kidding me?
I guarantee you, we would have died if he failed.
it's
Fell
my
down,
body.
grabbed Meep, and it's just brought all 3 of us down.
Yeah. So you just step right over gingerly. You probably could have just carried everyone over if you really wanted to.
Meep is flaming.
Yeah.
You're on fire?
Yes.
Oh.
Don't worry, Jeb is flaming too.
Yeah. In fact, if I could get everyone to roll 2.
Oh dear God!
Yeah.
It's gonna be the possum.
Yeah. If I could get everyone to roll 2d6 on your Constitution for Defy Danger right now.
Do I have to do that?
You don't. No, you do not.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good.
12.
8.
What were these rolls when I was hurling a tiny gnome?
Jeb got a 4, right?
Yeah, you got a 4. I got the 11.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, never mind.
Right. So
I got an 8.
so as
So that's 5.
I
yeah.
hope that possum eats you.
So Danica, you feel a pretty intense warmth from your bag, but nothing's happening yet. Meep, you're good. Nothing's happening. But Jebediah,
Dangling.
your bag explodes, and out pops a fire possum. From
Hold on. How big is this path, and how big are fire possums?
fire possums are like they're like about 4 foot long, and they probably weigh
They're
know.
people.
They probably weigh about 60 pounds. So
Tumbling.
it bursts forth out of your bag, landing right there on the road, right where you are, sort of hissing and spitting at you. Meanwhile, what are Miep and Ignis doing?
We're hanging out.
Yeah. Are you not making any attempts to try and climb up Ignis?
All right, Meep. I'm gonna try to swing you over. Don't worry about the possum that just exploded out of Jebediah's bag. That's besides the point. Also, I hope the one in your bag doesn't explode. But here we go.
Okay.
Do you allow him to throw you, or are you not accepting this?
I'm just gonna like, because I'm assuming she's holding onto my foot.
Yeah.
And I'm like just trying to like swing her over to the wall or to the path.
And are you going to assist Meep, or how's that going?
I'll assist.
Okay.
Yay, teamwork!
Only so I don't die.
Yeah.
Even though it's inevitable.
Yeah.
What should I roll?
2d6 plus strength is just trying to toss her up, or toss Meep up.
6.
I hate my life.
Well, do you roll for the assist?
Wow.
Meep, do you roll for the assist?
Yes.
Yeah. So you roll 2d6 plus your bonds with Ignis. Yeah.
Okay.
However many bonds she has,
Oh.
or Meep has.
So 4.
It's
Oh no, that's mine. Oh, that was my 4.
Yeah.
yeah. That was your 4. 6.
Oh. Okay.
Bye, Miep. This campaign doesn't want Miep to live.
Yeah. So
I told
Someone has
you
given
my
you
foot
meat.
was loose.
No. So you go to toss Meep up with your foot. But what happens is your other foot sort of just ends up kicking Meep in the face. Yeah. And Meep in the struggle lets go with both of Meep's hands, managing to recatch with one hand, but now Meep is hanging by just one hand. And the kick to the face is going to deal some damage. Just 2 damage. You can deduct armor from that. But you've been kicked in the face, and now you're hanging on by one hand. And let me get you rolled 2d6 on Constitution again, since you've jostled the bag from all of this moving around.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course. There goes the possum.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, but this one just tough.
I mean, at least on the bright side, it explodes down into a hole.
No. So the possum explodes out of the bag and immediately latches onto Meep's back.
Oh god! Oh,
Yeah.
my leg!
Yeah.
I can't feel my leg.
So the explosion is going to do 1 damage, fire damage. You can take that from your armor, and the possum latching onto your back.
Woo!
It's going to be 8 damage. You can deduct armor from that because it's just using claws. It's not fire. So now Meep has this possum digging into Meep's back as Meep holds on by one arm to Ignis, who's also holding on to the ledge. And there's another fire possum up on the platform there where Danica and Jebediah are. What is Danica doing?
Damn our hubris. Thinking about throwing my bag into the ravine, but
What did I tell y'all?
you told us nothing.
No, I told you that was disrespectful and we shouldn't do it, but no one listens to Ignis.
Well, Ignis, you got us into it in the first place. So,
And as soon as I got us into it, you all wanted to keep him because you knew I was right. Ignis is such a misunderstood soul.
yeah, probably.
Is this thing still on my back?
Oh, yeah. Danica's taking a moment to do some action, maybe.
You know, I have a negative modifier on strength, and I'm still contemplating on just climbing up with it on my back.
Okay,
Maybe.
I'm going to do my best to aid Meep because you can aid or interfere is a basic move.
Okay.
So you roll plus your bond.
Okay. Well, yeah, so aid and interfere has to do with like aiding them in their role, right? So you have to aid in something that Meep is already doing, right? Now, Meep, if you want to climb up, Meep, and then she aids you in that, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to climb?
Yeah. So
Okay, all right.
roll plus your strength. Roll strength for climbing.
Now remember,
Oh
the
my
most
god!
important part of climbing is a good foothold.
All right. So, there's nothing you can do about that. No, even if everybody helped you, you could.
It was a 5 anyway.
Yeah.
Plus,
Well-
I mean, that was with the bond.
Yeah. But you tried to help, and that's gonna hurt you now. So
Cool.
you're reaching over the edge, trying to like give Meep a hand and pull her up. And Meep goes to reach up, and when Meep does, the fire possum scurries up Meep's back, up Meep's arm, grabs Danica by the hand, pulling Danica over the edge. Right? Yeah.
My bag!
Yep. Danica falls, grabbing onto Miep's leg, right?
Oh no, we're
Yeah.
a chain of people.
Yeah. And the fire rat is now like clawing at your face because it's reached you. So now the fire rat has left Miep, but in the process attached itself to your face, and you are now hanging on. So we need to do a couple of things real quick. A couple of rolls got to happen. The first thing that we're going to do is... Where's my stuff? We need some damage. So, from the fire rat climbing up, and also the additional damage from having your body jolted from being pulled on by the human who's just grabbed onto your leg, Miep is going to take 4 damage, deducting armor from that. Having your face mauled, Danica, you're going to take 6 damage. You can deduct your armor from that. And then I also need Ignis...
I don't have armor because I have a book.
Yeah.
Bag.
I also need Ignis to roll on strength because a lot of weight has just been added to you. And you need to see if you can hold on.
I got a 10.
Cool. So you
Oh, thank God.
You do manage to hold on. You're pretty strong for the strapping young lad that you are. Meanwhile, the other fire possum is now lunging straight for Jebediah. Jebediah, what are you doing?
Jebediah doesn't care. He's grabbing on and trying to pull them all up right now.
Okay, cool.
Miep's just like, please don't interfere.
So yeah, let me get you to roll on strength for pulling everyone up.
We're gonna have another person to the chain. I feel it.
I will assist.
Nope,
Oh
that's a
my
13.
Okay.
So you're pulling everyone up, but you're going to get attacked by the possum while that's happening.
The lady adrenaline sets in. Just
Yeah. So the possum does 3 damage. You can deduct your armor from that as you pull everyone out of the ravine. So you do manage to beat everyone up, though. You just pull everyone in almost cartoon fashion, and they all land on they tumble onto the ground behind you. The possum does fall away from Danica's face onto the ground. But you still got this one sort of attacking you from the backside. Now that you've all sort of reached the top, what is Ignis doing?
Ignis is just kind of done, I guess. Like this is just kind of ridiculous, and things that die should probably stay dead, or at least he thinks in his mind, not thinking of the irony of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And he's gonna try and just like push one of the possums off the path, just like you could live down at the bottom now.
Okay, so yeah, let's roll for some strength for shoving it off the edge.
Another 10.
Cool. So yeah, you shove which one? The one that's on Jebediah?
I'll shove the one that was on Danica's face.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you just shove it off the edge, and it.
Oh, and Ignis is gonna kind of push him, just like go live free at the bottom.
And it flies off the edge, sort of squealing and wailing, and you can hear it as it falls for quite a distance.
Oh.
And you never do hear a thud. It just goes, and you never.
Falling forever.
And the light of its flame just disappears into the darkness below.
I'm sure he'll find his way home.
Yeah, sure. What is Miep up to?
Miep's gonna draw back an arrow and do a called shot, I guess.
Okay.
There is another one, right?
There's the one that's on Jebediah's back.
yes, dangly bits exists.
So a called shot, and I'm gonna go for a headshot.
Okay.
Headshot.
And what would that be with dexterity?
Yeah, 2d6 plus dex.
I'm sorry, Jed. I want to apologize for what you're about to get, because I know it's coming.
So when you draw the string back,
It's fine. I did just chuck you off the cliff.
yeah, unfortunately the bow has sustained a lot of damage, and you're tumbling and tossing and being thrown around, and so the string of the bow snaps, hitting you in the face.
Oh man.
Yep. And you're gonna take just 1 damage on that, so you'll be alright. It's just a sting. Meanwhile, what is Danica doing?
I feel bad about this, but at the same time, like, health is kind of low. I just kind of pick up the bag and let it fall off the path. off the edge. Rest in peace, Firestarter.
Yeah, cool. All right, yeah. So that's I'll give you free action on that. So you drop the bag.
And then
I
guess for my other action,
well,
that was a free.
Yeah, but that'll consume your turn. So you won't have to roll for it.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
That'll consume your turn for the free action. So Jebediah.
There was a lot of emotion.
Yeah. Jebediah, you've got this possum sort of on your back. What are you doing?
Jebediah is very done with this whole situation, so he's just gonna punch over his shoulder and try to hit Dangly Bits in the possum face.
Sure.
Dangly Bits.
All right, cool. Yeah.
In the Dangly Bits.
Yeah, 2d6 on strength.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's 13.
Roll for some damage too, then.
Sweet. While I'm punching him, I'm gonna be like, "Bad Dangly Bits."
Cool. So Dangly Bits won't necessarily perish, but you definitely punch Dangly Bits off of your back. Dangly Bits lands to the ground. When Dangly Bits... do you... so you rolled an 11, right? So do you want to roll for additional damage, opening yourself up to attack?
Yeah, mine as well.
Okay.
He is still on my back after all.
So run the d4 then.
More 3s.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you punch Dangly Bits off of your shoulder, and then you're gonna make a secondary attack on it. What is the secondary attack?
Just another punch.
Yeah.
My weapons are my fists.
So the second punch you go for, you punch Dangly Bits opens its mouth, and you punch it in its mouth, and it latches onto your fist. But you also sort of like kill Dangly Bits in the punch to the mouth. But as it latches onto your hand, you're gonna take 5 damage. You can deduct armor from that. But Dangly Bits sort of like falls down to the ground in a heap, and the body starts to smolder as though it's going to catch fire. But at this time, nothing's attacking you. So what do you guys? You got the castle before you. Are you gonna head on your way? Are you doing anything with Dangly Bits' little?
We need to sweep the ashes off the edge. Just be done with it.
I'm gonna shove him. No. I'm gonna shove him back in the bag like, you're gonna be fertilizer, son.
Oh dear lord.
No.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm keeping Dangly Bits.
Why?
Yeah, so roll the 2d6 plus Constitution for shoving him in the bag.
Creeper gunpowder, basically.
4.
Oh.
No.
Yeah. So as you're sweeping into the bag, it starts to like blaze up and it burns the bag, in its blaze, and it's sort of the fire is smoldering as though it's going to be reborn.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah. So, did you do anything else at this point in time?
I'm gonna kick it off the edge.
Fine.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Roll plus strength for kicking it off the edge.
Never mind. It kicks me off the edge.
Yeah, sorry.
These
I'll wait.
possums are kicking our ass.
So yeah, you go to kick it off the edge, but the ashes just sort of swirl around as you kick them, and you get a little bit of singe when you do it. So
Okay,
one
I'm
fire
good.
damage, but they're still sort of smoldering and like they're gonna sort of burst into the flames. What's Ignis up to?
Isaac.
Oh, my bad. God, the one time being an immolator just doesn't seem that great. Gosh.
Well, so it is smoldering and on fire. So you have a move that allows you to control fire. So you could do something with that if you wanted to.
Oh, okay.
Yes, possum tornado.
I'm just gonna like force push him off the ledge like the other one then.
Yeah. So use your Zuko style for that then.
Yeah. 12 or 13.
Yeah. So describe it to me. Is it like a swirly, like show of lights and display, or do you just like push it off?
No, it's just like kind of like I feel like it looks like there's something pressing against my hand, and then I'm just like give it a good shove. It is just a push.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So the flaming ashes descend into the pit of nothingness, and eventually it blinks out. You don't see it anymore. And then lay before you sort of the entrance to the castle, and that's where we're going to sort of conclude for tonight, and we'll pick this up next week as you enter the castle and see what lovely things await you inside of there. Do your characters have any closing thoughts or remarks as you stand at the gate of the castle?
Well, guys, if everything
Profuse
went
apologies.
if everything went so well outside, I can only imagine how well things are going to go on the inside. We got this.
Should we camp to regain like?
Yeah, are we gonna rest, or do I need to pop a health potion?
You guys. We could say like in between campaigns, you guys could take a little bit of a rest just outside of the castle before you go in. A couple hours to.
Is that enough for me to use my human trait to heal when we're next to a large open flame?
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Full health.
Yeah, campfire time.
Yeah. Cool.
Let's gather around the campfire and sing our campfire song.
Does Miep sing? I feel like Miep's probably done at this point.
No, she very cynically, drunkly, just
so in G song.
like, weepy.
Nice. Cool. All right. Let's see. Let me close the browser.